Hello and welcome to another episode of the Gohndim and Gilmore Show. Today's episode is brought to you by the Boston News Network, the only new age digital newspaper that brings you only the facts.
Hey everyone, it's Gilmore. So Gohndim, now that we're done with the Thanksgiving holiday and we're in that weird in-between space between Thanksgiving and Christmas, how's it feel coming back to reality for like 2 weeks until you don't have to do anything anymore?
I don't do anything anyway, so kind of a weird question. I think I sent 3 emails today, maybe 5 this week. I am on total coast mode. I don't really care. Someone just shoot me, I guess.
Okay, that's fair. I unfortunately was pretty busy these last couple of days, so I didn't have the same benefits that you did to just kind of F off. But yeah, so we're here today. And we decided that for our audience, how exciting this will be is that we'll go over our Spotify and surprising Discord recaps. So, are we ready to talk about this?
Yeah, I think everyone is doing these recaps these days. What was there one for YouTube as well? It was pretty terrible. Steam does one, which the Steam one's kind of fun. I like going through it, what games you played throughout the year and whatnot, but it's not out yet, I don't think. You don't really play many games, so maybe that's not interesting. But I think this is the first year Discord did it, so that was kind of fun. I think the funny thing to me is that I ended up being in a lot of people's squads, which is like their top 3. It's like a fucking MySpace wall competition or something. But I wasn't, or they weren't, a lot of people weren't in mine. So very concerning for you people. You should probably, choose better friends. Get me out of your squad, okay? Do you want to start with Discord or Spotify?
So we could start with Discord. I just have it up now. So it's funny that you mentioned the most played game. So it says most played game on Discord as well. And my third most played game was for like 9 hours and was playing Tibia with you guys.
Oh my god, it tracks Tibia, even it recognizes what that game is.
So that's how few games I've played this year. So yeah.
My number one on Discord at least was Counter-Strike. It's probably the same it's going to be the same for Steam. Maybe not for hours played, but I open that game sometimes like 12 times a day to like trade on the market or open cases or whatever. So it's not always playtime, but
yeah, I had the same for Discord most played game as well. I don't think it said how many hours on here. I think you have to go through the actual thing, but at least on the summary, it was my most played.
So I'm kind of like a power bottom. I mean, a power user of Discord. I'm guessing my messages sent are far higher than yours. I'm going to guess that you sent only, oh God, actually you're a big drama stalker too. So I'm going to guess you sent 23,000 messages.
You're not that far off, but you undershot it a little bit. I'm up to 29,000.
Okay. That's not too bad. My first gut was to say 8,000, but then I remembered you spent a lot of time in the Jew Stalker server and all the Destiny Pixie drama, so...
Yeah, that's unfortunately true. For yours, because of what you said before, I'm going to say you're closer to like 50,000 or so.
You undershot it by quite a bit.
Really?
I'm at 75,084.
You almost triple mine.
Well, like I said, a power, whatever. Okay, hours in voice. This is what I'm a little concerned about because you gave Evie some shit for, I think Evie spent like fucking a third of the year in voice or something. I'm guessing you only spent, I'm going to guess you spent, oh fuck, I was going to say 200 and some. I'm going to guess 308.
You very much undershot this one. I was at 473.
Oh my god, I'm actually surprised. Okay, hit me with what I have.
Wait, before I guess yours, let me try to figure out what that is in days, unfortunately. So 473 divided by
scary.
60. Wait, no.
Divided by 24.
Divided by 24.
Don't become a lawyer.
Almost 20 days. That's kind of crazy. Wow. All right. So for yours, I will say I'll stick with around 900. No, that's too high. Really?
Yeah, well,
okay.
Yeah, 827.
Oh, shit. I was going to guess 820. No joke, but that's very funny.
And now I have no idea how to guess these, so I'll just tell you. This is the most disappointing part of the Wrapped, and Merle's actually pointed this out in general chat today in our server. Please join it. The emojis used, I used like 3,329. I guess I just react to a lot of shit. But my favorite emoji was just the retarded like 100. So we need to get Pepe Craze Boner back up there. That's my number one resolution next year. Probably my only resolution to make Pepe Craze Boner my favorite emoji. I'm not joking.
I totally support that. My emoji use is actually higher than yours because I.
Oh my god.
Mine's 5,300.
What the fuck?
And somehow my emoji is even more boring than yours. It's just the point up emoji.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be the thumbs up. Okay, at least it's the point up. But where the fuck are you using this emote?
It's
I
funny
don't ever see
when
one.
I first, so I didn't really use Discord that much until this year, and the for some reason I put a thumbs up on something, and someone made fun of me saying it's like the most boomer emoji is doing a thumbs up, so I just started doing it way more often. So I'm kind of hoping that next year it'll be the thumbs up emoji, but we'll see.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think Discord Wrapped was kind of cool, or what do they call it? Recap, checkpoint. Yeah, it's checkpoint. I get
Yeah,
them
yeah, yeah.
confused. It was
Wait,
kind of
what's your
interesting,
top
but
server though?
well, my top server is a private server. It's the Speakeasy, and some people that know that it's like the secret Crimson server. Um, it probably would have been the Piscord if I was
I was gonna
still
say, does
in
it
that
show up at
server.
all?
It doesn't show up at all. So like I think it would have been that would have been my top server if I wasn't banned. But then thinking back on it, I didn't really send that many messages in the Discord between like January and like April. Like I still engage there fairly heavily, and I think I'm still like the number one user in that server. But I think it removes it from contention when you're banned because it didn't show up in my top three servers. My top three servers were the Speakeasy, then this server, which is relatively new, and then the Bastiat server, which I send like maybe 3 messages a week in that server. So yeah, I think the Piscord for sure would have been on there, and it just removes it because I was banned.
Yeah, that makes sense. My third highest was the bunker, so I think that
Oh
makes
my
sense.
god, fucking scary.
I told you.
That's true. Another resolution. I'll get the bunker up to the top server next year. You heard it here first, folks.
So I double checked to make sure if I'm enough of a boomer. So the thumbs up is my third most used emoji. So next year, hopefully 2 or 1.
I would click back into my recap or whatever, but it's so fucking loud. I'm not going to do it. So all my emotes or emojis were pretty fucking lame and boring, but we'll fix that next year. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to our Spotify recap, which I know you were very excited for, like months basically leading up to this week.
Look, it's kind of fun. I think one thing there was an error in the Spotify Wrap this year because I listened to they forced me to go back to the office or they tried to like May 1st of this last year. And so the first thing I did is I sat down and wrote like a list of all these albums I was going to listen to because I was going to be bored as fuck. I listened to like 378 albums I think from May until the end of October. Some were duplicates, some that I listened to multiple times. A lot of Ariana Grande on there for sure. But I listened to a lot of albums, and it said my rap said I only listened to like 250 or some albums or something. So there might be some data errors there. I think it's no surprise what my top artist is. I mean, just want to guess.
Either Taylor Swift or Ariana Grande, but I'll go with Ariana Grande.
I'm gonna shoot you. Yeah, of course, Ari. Uh, I I'm surprised that yours is Taylor Swift. You already spoiled this to me. I didn't realize you actually were a Power fan like your wife.
So I'm kind of surprised too, but it might be just because I listened to her whole album, and for most other artists, I don't listen to their whole albums. I just listen to like singles or songs here or there. So I'm assuming that's what had to do with it. Is my best guess.
Any guesses on my minutes listened to Ari? I guess that it was going to be a contest for the Discord. No one really guessed except for Evie. So Evie, if you're listening to this, congrats, you won. Any guesses
Wait, minutes
for?
listened for just Ariana?
Oh yeah, let's start with total. Let's start with total.
For total, I would guess for you like 35,000.
Try close to doubling that. It was 66,896.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It's a lot of listening. Actually, I thought it would be lower because before this year, and like in the office, I typically would only listen when I was like running or walking or doing something outside. I don't listen to a lot of music like around the house or something or on my computer. So usually
That's like
watching like a video.
40 days, I think. About.
Well, it's not like you're only doing that, dumbass.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that's how time works, though, you know?
Something that was really funny, and I'm not going to admit to the exact statistic they gave you, but did you notice in this year's rap how they told you like what your listening age was?
Yeah, what was yours?
Mine was much higher than you would think for someone that listens to Ariana Grande, Olivia Rodrigo, and Gracie Abrams. It was high. I don't know why.
Mine's really low.
I like listen. I saw yours. It was only like 22 or something.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. That's like what mine should be, but mine was high for some reason. I am never admitting to it. They fucked up again. I'm telling you.
I think if they take like the oldest band you listen to and just like extrapolate from there.
No, they can't do that for mine because I had one of my favorite artists of all time is Jackson Brown, who's like an old singer songwriter, a California boy, nice long hair, beautiful man. He was my number fifth artist this year, or number five artist this year, and he's like fucking 78 or something. So they can't do that. Anyway, okay, so 66K, close to 67K total minutes. Where do you think Ari fell?
How do you see? Oh, how many minutes you just listened to her?
Just to her.
This seems kind of crazy, but I will say 12,000.
That's actually really close. Yeah, it was like 11,394, which
Oh
put me
my
as
god.
a top 0.02% global fan. I think I was like fan number 47,000 or something. So Ari, if you're listening, I know you are. Send me those front row tickets, okay? Thank you. Preferably one of the Austin dates or Chicago.
You have to answer this question honestly, okay?
Okay, what's going on?
How many times have you watched her thank you video at the end saying how she appreciates you listening to her music?
So she actually did not make one, or at least if she did, I didn't get it. I got the Olivia Rodrigo one again, so I don't think she made one. And last year, my top artist was Ari, and I don't think she made one either. I think I got the fucking Olivia Rodrigo one.
Is
So,
it possible she made a video, but they just couldn't catch her on camera because she's so small?
anyway, moving on.
Wait, so try to guess how many times I listened to Taylor Swift, my top artist?
Like minutes, or
Yeah, minutes.
okay. So I forget. You had 23,000. I think you leaked this to me. It was like 23,000 total.
I think it was around 15 or 18, something like that in total.
I will say 3,000.
It was 712 minutes.
Oh my God. Okay, you got some variety in there. You're not as obsessed as I am, so
Yeah, so there we go.
that's good. That's good. I think moving on to our only real topic of the week, there was some Pixie Destiny updates, Gilmore. Not that I was really following. I mean, I think Pixie's kind of cooked and maybe is not able to consent, and maybe that's the real angle to this case after all. But what were the updates? Fill us in. What's going on?
So about a week or two ago, it's hard to keep track. Destiny filed a motion for sanctions against Pixie because in her amended complaint, she had a footnote that said that he was exchanging pornography with a minor, which was the allegation. It turns out the person that he was exchanging pornography with was the boyfriend or ex-boyfriend of that girl who was a minor. So it turns out he wasn't exchanging pornography with a minor. He was exchanging pornography with a man pretending to be this other girl. So
So,
he
so
wanted
this is like
her
some Chris Hansen
sanctioned.
shit, is what you're saying.
Sort of, but he didn't think she was underage. So it's a little bit different.
Hmm.
So he filed a motion to get her sanctioned for that. She responded opposing it, saying, "Hey, it's just a footnote. Stop being mad that I called you a pedo." Which I thought it's a bold strategy. We'll see what happens. And she also filed a motion for sanctions against him for filing his motion for sanctions. So they have dueling sanction motions against each other for the same subject matter.
Oh my God. Do you think they're like the ultimate get out of jail free card for like those pedos that show up to those Chris Hansen stings? It's just to pretend they knew it was Chris Hansen the entire time, and as soon as he walks out, like try to suck his dick or something?
No to the first part, but yes to that second part.
Okay. Yeah, I could see it.
So in sum, what he's arguing here is, and assuming everything else is true, that he wasn't sending stuff to a minor, but he was receiving pictures potentially of a minor from another person, and that she should be sanctioned for alleging the former and not stating the actual reality of the situation.
Hmm. I'm at the point where I actually couldn't care less about this case. When is it going to wrap up, do you think? I mean, what are the next steps?
So there's like a bunch of motions pending. I think like 4 or 5 at this point. So whenever the judge just decides them, I feel like most decisions don't come down near the holiday season. So probably early next year they'll probably get some decisions, but we'll see.
Why the fuck do all these retarded cases take so long? It makes no sense to me. It's actually stupid.
I've had cases pending in federal court where I've had like a summary judgment motion, which is like a really intense, a lot of work done in the motions pending for like over a year. So it's not that crazy.
I think if I was accused of this, I think I'm crazy. I might kill myself. Very fucked up.
Yeah, well, to each their own. I know that you really wanted to get to this next section here, and so I'm happy to announce that we're bringing back Cope of the Week from the first few episodes, and Gohndim, take it away.
Yeah, just a real brief one this week. I was doom scrolling Twitter, I think yesterday, the day before, and I messaged you this in DMs that our good friend of the bunker, Ryan, is it C. Mullally? I don't know what the C is for, maybe cunt or something. He went on the Adam and Sitch podcast for some reason, and I would not, subject myself to that audio abuse, or I guess visual too, if he was on cam. But one thing I noticed with Ryan is that he's using a Twitter PFP that is like 50 pounds ago. And so, Ryan, we're coming up here on the New Year's. As much as I hate all the new people that come to the gym around this time and make the resolutions, it might be time to get back at it, buddy, because, like I said, that PFP is at least 50 pounds ago, and you hide it fairly well on stream, I guess, but you're not like doing like a full body stream or something. This isn't like chatterbait, but we just want the best for you, Ryan, and stop coping, stop catfishing. You're kind of like all the girls I swipe on, and they show up and they're like fucking 50 pounds heavier. It's just like not good for society. And Ozempic exists, and I think was it the WHO or the CDA or some organization was actually going to start recommending Ozempic as a treatment for obesity before they just recommended like diet and exercise and stuff. So like the options are out there. There's no reason not to. Just fucking either use an accurate PFP or lose the fucking weight.
All right. I can't say I disagree with any of that. So thanks for putting it so eloquently for our audience.
Not a problem. Doing some mailbags as well this week. A little bit of a shorter episode, but we have one from a top bunker fan. This is from Deegs. Who is the smartest person in the bunker, and why is it Mog?
Good question, Deegs. I will have to obviously agree with you there that Mog is by far the smartest member of the bunker. He's actually the only person currently in the bunker who's been able to trigger me in every single conversation I have with him. Usually I'm pretty good at not getting triggered, especially via text, because I know people are just joking around, but somehow in every conversation with him, I get triggered. So hats off to you, Mog. I really appreciate it. And congratulations on being the smartest person in the bunker.
Well, let's ease up on the congratulations here. I'm not really sure who this Mog person is really, because I'm not in the Boss server anymore, or sorry, the Discord. I think there's two contenders for smartest person in the bunker. Number one, I'm gonna say antidepressants. I think he's our only PhD, and he's an economics PhD, and hopefully he'll be on the podcast here later this month. So he's up there for me, very, very smart. And number two, I'd have to say our good old my fellow Canadian, Dirt. Dirt is someone who studied for 3 days and learned a lot about Egypt and I can't do it. Never mind, Dirt's so dumb. Okay. Anyway,
What was the
next
object
question.
that he couldn't identify? An obelisk? Was that what it was?
Obelisk, yeah. It was so bad. Dirt, I love you, buddy. I love you. Just because you turned down the podcast, okay?
The next question we have is from Hiom, and his question is, I guess I'll add some words here. What is the training regimen for the Gohndim and Gilmore show?
Yeah, I mean, I can take this one to start off. First of all, regiment is a military unit. I think you mean regimen. And thank you so much for asking this question. I'm not sure how this leaked, but this is actually the third year in a row that I've successfully completed No Nut November. And I think, as my high school football coach said, championships are won in the off season. And so what I recommend is people start signing out of your OnlyFans, your Fansly's, your all your video sites, Pornhub. Start blocking all the stuff in September and really kind of ease your way into it. And that makes NNN much more accomplishable. Yeah, 3 years in a row, going for 4. There's a milestone at 5. And so I think a lot of the training, like I said, really takes place earlier than November. So if you go into November 1st and you're going to try to quit cold turkey, you're probably going to set yourself up for failure. And don't buy into those videos, those bait ones that say, I'm going to help you break NNN. It's just not worth it, okay?
Okay, good pointers. My only addition would be I like PPL, so maybe try that out.
Terrible answer, but we won't get into it. Vlexer, one of our favorite and best Mexicans. Do you guys have an opinion on Linux and FOSS?
So it's spelled Lunux. Is that supposed to be Linux, or is this a different thing?
I think I just mistyped it. Yeah, Linux.
All right, let me look up FOSS real quick. Yeah, so back in the day when I was much, much younger, I think I was in high school potentially, I worked at a summer camp, like a day camp, and
Mhm.
I was like a 101 for this one kid who had autism, who was like barely verbal, but like a very, very smart kid. But he's probably like, 13, 14 years old. And all he talked about were two things. One was Sonic the Hedgehog, and two was Linux. So the only things I know about Linux is from what this a kid with autism told me when I was in high school. So just because of that, I'll probably say Linux.
I have no idea what either of these things are, other than I think Linux is some kind of OS, and it was most talked about when I went to college among the CS and the CNSA students, and they all like smelled. So I will pick FOSS, I guess, unless that's even worse. But
Okay,
that's my answer.
good answer. Here's a question from Dalen. Uh, the question is, if it's true that the two survivors of the initial strike on a Venezuelan vessel in international waters on September 2nd were, in fact, standing atop floating wreckage, looking upward with arms waving above their heads, was one more missile strike enough? Too many? Question mark.
Yeah, great question, Dalen. And as someone who studies international law semi-professionally, I would just say that most of what you hear from people that stand international law is just cucked. I don't really care if we are killing people in this way, as long as the targets are, good targets, in my opinion. So if these people, I just don't trust everything that Hegseth does because he's an alcoholic. I mean, the rest of the administration is great, but Hegseth is known for you know, drinking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beers in a night and getting a little intoxicated. So as long as the target's identified appropriately, I don't really care about like double tapping fucking drug smugglers that are killing our children. Something that is attacking white men disproportionately is some of these drugs, and it's important that we snip it from the bud, I guess.
So something I learned this week, which is new knowledge to me, is that apparently a boat isn't shipwrecked if it's exploded by a missile. It only counts if it hits a reef and like the bottom of the boat breaks and starts sinking. Did you know that?
No, but that does not surprise me because I thought there'd be many carve-outs for like vessels that are struck in like a military action. Now, whether it's a justified military action or not, I think it's probably a whole different question. But it goes back to the conversation we had off camera, or I guess off the podcast, about like what would actually quantify or qualify as like a protected combatant in like a military zone or something. I don't know. I don't think that just the fact that your vessel's been destroyed now means that you have to be rendered like full quarter or something. I don't know, but I'm not an expert. I also don't really have a lot of sympathy for these drug smugglers. Like maybe just don't smuggle drugs. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a little weird in our prior conversation where you said it would only be unjustified if they were hot Latina women, but I mean, I'm kind of learning more and more about the topic this week, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think Latino women are some of the best women. Persians are still like number one up there for me. Unfortunately, that country is completely and utterly retarded, and we should literally coup and
Persia.
invade. Yeah, we should literally coup Iran and probably have boots on the ground. Like I was really hoping the Israel Jewland war would escalate. So
Maybe one day you'll get your wish.
that kind of leads into our next question from Deegs. Who is the anti-Semite of the year?
Really good question, Deegs. There is still some time. Usually there's a lot of anti-Semitism closer to the Christmas holiday. I did see one person said that Doobie was their anti-Semite of the year this year, which is a good shout there. What I will say is the anti-Semite of the year for me this year is probably Benjamin Netanyahu, only because of how much hatred he's brought the Jews over this year. So, thank you, BB.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a great answer. I do like the Doobie answer, at least for the online politics space. And I hate to bring the news to this people, but I actually lost the text to Doobie Doobie Jew, which was my parody of Scooby Dooby Jew, or Scooby Dooby Doo. Um, Freudian slip or something there. I think I lost the text to eternity and it's just gone. You guys can all blame Dalen because at one point I sent him the text of this parody song and he was supposed to sing it and record it, but he never did. And I think I redacted DMs. Dalen, you are on notice. You are actually the anti-Semite of the year for losing this piece of media forever.
Maybe it's possible he emailed it to himself, so maybe we'll ask him if he still has a copy of it.
Yeah, we can try that. He is a fellow Canadian, so I guess we'll give him a second pass. Or I guess I'm a half Canadian, so I think that's it. Anything else for the pod, Gilmore? What did we miss? One thing I will mention at the end: the Counter-Strike 2 Budapest Major is going on right now for all you CS fans. Check that out. Everyone's got to support G2. If G2 does not make the playoffs, I probably will kill myself.
All right, and I support G2 just because I don't want my co-host to die. So, yeah, that's all I got though.
All right, God bless everyone. Thank you everyone for listening to another episode of the Gohndim and Gilmore Show. Check the links in the show description to see where you can find us. Join our Discord to interact with us and submit questions for the next show. As always, your support is much appreciated. Until next time, adios.
Bye.